Coming up today in episode 204 of Husavik Heroes. As you can probably tell, my voice is a little bit hoarse. We're just going to do the one game today. It is at home against Ajax. Hopefully we can make it 2 wins from 2 to start off the group stage. Also a recap of how things did finish up in the domestic league off the back of the intro. Welcome back to Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and if you are looking forward to our second game of the Champions League group stage for 2038 today, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But before we do get into this game, already in game, they're trying to put a little bit of a curse on us here with this inbox item off the back of us picking up a win in the first game of the group stage in yesterday's episode. If you missed that one against an Inter Milan team who did have quite a few former Volsungur players also in there, was an Icelandic Cup final. I'll leave a link to that one over in the top right corner. But as you can see, we are just one win away from going through a record unbeaten run. So I suppose even a draw here would be enough against Ajax. It's probably a team that we should be beating, but in game, they're trying to put the pressure on us a little bit, which could make this game a little bit more tricky than it possibly could be. Could be interesting to see if anything dodgy does happen in this one off the back of that inbox item. And only a few clicks off the back of that previous inbox item about the Champions League, we do have a bit of an update on some stuff domestically from this past league season. As you can see, we set an average attendance record of 17, just over 17,000, which is very good, of course, with the slight stadium expansion happening during that past season. Also, 3 Volsungur players technically in the top 3 for the Golden Boot. Adam Saki picked it up with 17 goals in 10 appearances. Heiko Kunze picked up 15, and of course the player who we did sign and then loan back out to Akranes, Ori Porhalson, he picked up 15 goals as well, and that is of quite important note because that is something which could impact what we do with him come the next Icelandic season. So there's some good work there from the 3 Volsungur strikers, albeit not too sure if we can quite include Ori Porhalson in that category yet. And also the goal of the year, unfortunately Marcelo Jr. scored an absolute ripper in our last game of the season, but not quite good enough from a free kick. It was runner-up for the top division goal of the season. It is time for us to just have a quick look at how things did end there. As you can see up the top, we actually dropped points again on the last day of that season. The free kick by Marcelo Jr. was enough for us to peg back a 1-0 deficit and pick up a draw away at Hafnarfjordur, a team who, despite that result, still got relegated. So a really disappointing result there. We dropped a few points late in the season, albeit already by that stage we had wrapped up the league and we were playing quite a few rotation players leading in to some Champions League games. In those games in which we did drop points, in the end we do pick up the league by 15 points, not losing a game but drawing 2, and we get the job done. Phil Kia are going to be joining us in the Champions League next season, albeit from the 3rd round of qualifying. Nuts KR have just done enough to finish above HK in that Europa League spot, so they will be in the group stages of the Europa League next season, and HK and Akranes are going to be in Conference League qualifying. So maybe, again, we might loan out Porhalson to Akranes just to help those guys out come the Conference League next European season. As I mentioned, though, that might be the last European season that we do in this save, so it'll be interesting to see what we do with the young Icelandic striker who we did recently sign from Akranes, if we want to get a bit of a look at him, or we send him out to our fellow Icelandic club to try and help those guys out in Conference League qualifying. Of course, the current holder of the European Golden Boy Award. But what that does mean going into this next game of the group stages against Ajax, our form pretty good prior to that draw, which was, of course, against Hafnarfjordur, included in that a 10-0 win over Grotta, where we did put out our first team, and Jean-Yves Lapasset picked up a record 7 goals in that game. So he comes into this one in some really, really good form. But the group going into the second game, obviously we picked up a 2-0 win away against Inter Milan. Quite a good result. As I mentioned yesterday, I think away points in this group are going to be quite important because on paper, looks like it might be a bit of an even one. And Ajax picked up a somewhat surprise 2-0 win at home there over Lille. So this is an early top of the table clash. Will be interesting to see how things do look off the back of this one. And this is one of 2 games at home that we do play in a row. So we definitely want to win these next couple and make the most of our home advantage and put ourselves into a good position to be finishing on top of this group for the knockout draw. In terms of our team going into this one, Luis Herrera does have an injury. That means that Premzel Bokic is going to come on the bench. Luis Herrera nearly recovered from it, but he's still out for 4 days. The injury that he suffered was through some pulled ankle ligaments, so definitely we can play things safe with him. We might not even use Bokic off the bench. It might be someone like Pedro Lemos who comes on, and we can always put Radenko Krolo to left back instead. But in terms of our first choice 11, everyone is there. As you can see by the star ratings, it is a very, very strong first 11 here at Volsungur these days. And in terms of Ajax, they currently find themselves top of the Eredivisie. They're a team that have played pretty well against in the past, and also HK have beaten them in the past as well in Europa League knockouts. So I'd like to think at home especially, this is a game that we are capable of winning. A quick update on what has happened in those past meetings against Ajax. There's been a fair few of them, and overall since 2029 we have a pretty good record against these guys. So hopefully we can keep that up this season, and we'll come back shortly and hopefully make it 2 wins from 2 in the Champions League group as we take on Ajax from my arena. And here are the team sheets for this lone game of today's episode. As I mentioned before, in terms of our starting 11, we are exactly the same as Premzel Bokic on the bench in place of Luis Herrera. There are Ajax potentially in slightly better form than us, and in terms of their personnel, I do think we have the edge over them, and hopefully we can make it 6 points from 6 off the back of this one. And just shy of the 10-minute mark, we have our first highlight of this one right on the outside box here of Ajax, and Radenko Krolo makes his way into the mixer. There's a ball that gets taken off him there, and I think the referee has blown a penalty that did indeed look harsh, as the commentary mentions. So we'll see what happens here after a VAR check, and indeed there is no penalties, not much doing there. Still 0-0 after 10 minutes. And only a few minutes off the back of that rather lackluster opening highlight is Ajax here with a throw-in, albeit deep inside their own half, as they do look to play out from the back, and Fernandes finds himself in a little bit of space, tries to play that forward to Blake, but thankfully one of our defenders is there to tidy the ball up, and we eventually ourselves try and play out from the back and hopefully can get on the front foot early here in our first home game of the Champions League this season. A win here would be really nice, just to make the most of those 3 points that we did pick up yesterday away against Inter Milan. We eventually make our way inside the Ajax half, and Agatigre, nice ball there for Lapase, goes for a long shot, just clips the top of the crossbar, and it is still 0-0 here after 14 minutes. And right off the back of that, we do get shown the goal kick here to Ajax. We do miss the header, but thankfully Lassana Doumbia is there to get possession back for us, and we eventually look to get on the front foot, albeit play that one back to Basiro Gayabaya up to Lapase. Nice ball over the top here for Lassana Doumbia. Takes on the shot himself. He potentially could have squared that one for Adam Saki, but nonetheless a decent save there from the Ajax goalkeeper to keep it at 0-0. But off the subsequent corner, Lassana Doumbia finds the head of Alain Basicki, and after a good spell of early pressure and 15 minutes into this one, we do grab a 1-0 lead. Good corner there from Doumbia, and Basicki with a bullet header makes it 1-0 Volsungur. And just past the half-hour mark, we have our next highlight. Jonathan Berger here with a throw. He has picked up a yellow card since we did grab that opening goal, so that's something that we might have to keep an eye on throughout the rest of this game, but we stay on the attack here and hopefully can make it 2-0 sooner rather than later. Denali play that one back for Radenko Krolo. Now Agatigre with a long shot forces a decent save there from the goalkeeper, albeit might have been better off there trying to hit that across the face of goal. But another chance here from set piece. Doumbia will find the head of Denali, but this time goalkeeper makes the save and keeps it at 1-0. And only a few minutes off the back of that previous chance, back down the Ajax end here for a corner, and somehow that ball does not find the back of the net. Off of the rebound, Agatigre there potentially could have just tapped that in, but somehow Ajax did scramble that away, albeit from the next corner. Yet again, Elaine Basicki is there at the near post to put that away. And so far in this game, we are being set-piece merchants. That makes it 2-0 with pretty much the exact same goal as we scored earlier. That one makes its way into the bottom left corner. 2-0 Volsungur, 10 minutes shy of half-time. And that is half-time in this one. 2 goals through pretty similar circumstances there to Elaine Basicki from corners at the near post. But overall, we have looked the better team. Ajax are yet to get a single shot on target. So pretty happy with how this one is going. Hopefully, we can actually score a goal from open play come the second half. We are going to make one change here at halftime with Jonathan Berger on a yellow card. What I think we can do here is give Pedro Lemos some game time, which it does look like he needs. And what we can do for that is switch Radenko Krolo out to the left-hand side, and Lemos will go to his familiar right back spot for the second half. And that should hopefully mean that we don't get any players in card trouble before the knockouts or the latter stages of the group stage. We're pretty happy with that first half. Hopefully, as I said, we can score from open play in the second half, but we kick it off with a 2-0 lead. And about 5 minutes into the second half, it is Ajax here with a free kick. One of their players does get a head on the end of that. Thankfully, Calvolin makes a fairly safe-looking save. Was just wondering there briefly if something funny was going to happen, but he rolls that out, and we try and get on the front foot here and play a long ball over the top for Alam Saki, but Ajax might get a chance here to do something on the counter-attack. They play that back to one of their defenders. I think that is Haddad. Plays that up to the player on a yellow card, plays a long ball over the top, but Filippo Dinelli will cut that out. Some great short passing here, but Adam Saki, his shot is quite weak, but some encouraging play. Still 2-0 early in the second half. And only a couple of minutes off the back of that first highlight in the second half, we are back down Ajax's end here, albeit it does start off with a throw into them, but they immediately pump that deep and give the ball straight to Filippo Dinelli, and we start to get on the front foot. Yet again, Radenko Krolo just holds things up there on the left-hand side. Dumbia will find him yet again, puts that in for Agatigere. Nice header, but just goes wide of the post, and still 2-0 Volsungur with just over a half hour left. And a couple of minutes off the back of that previous highlight, we are going to make our next substitution. We have 2 players down to red hearts. Basicki, of course, is on a hat-trick, so we'll leave him on for a little bit longer, but Lasana Dumbia can come off for Bruno Costa. And we make our way forward now to the 67-minute mark. We have a throw in here right inside the final third of Ajax, albeit they head that one away, but they try and play a long ball over the top, and yet again, our centre-backs are there to tidy things up. Yet again, I think that one was Filippo Dinelli. He's been pretty good at the back for us so far in this game, and we try and get a third goal in this one. Lemos finds Agatigere inside the box, squares that nicely for Bienvenu Bayer, but that shot is straight into the path of the goalkeeper. Still 2-0 Volsungur with 20 minutes left. And just about to enter the last 10 minutes of this game, we've got a few players now down to red hearts, but Elaine Basicki apparently quite tired. To be fair, probably won't get a hat-trick from the DM role anyway, so Lucas Palazek can come on for him. All of our subs used, and still 2-0 up with just over 10 minutes left. And we make our way forward now to the 87-minute mark. Yet another corner, which Filippo Dinelli will get on the end of. This time it is Bruno Costa with the assist. And we continue to be absolute set-piece merchants in this game. That's our third goal from corner, albeit that one not quite as close to the near post, but it's still pretty similar goal. He puts that away in that bottom left corner, and that will surely wrap this result up now. A little bit disappointing that we haven't scored from open play, but as long as we are scoring from set pieces, everything is going to be okay. And on the whole, that's a pretty good performance, albeit, as I said, would have been nice to get a goal there from open play, but can't complain with a 3-0 result, and that is a good result to consolidate top spot in this group there against an Ajax team who, of course, did beat Lille on that opening match day. So far, things are going well in this group, and I don't think we've actually played that well on the whole in either of those games, certainly not as well as we can play. So this is encouraging signs for our Champions League defence for this upcoming season. It also means, of course, that we do set a unbeaten record run in the Champions League as well. So that is a good start. Yet again, we were the early kickoff in our group, so we'll come back shortly, give you guys an update on the other result in the group between Inter Milan and Lille, and also check in on the other Icelandic teams down in the Europa League and the Conference League before we wrap things up for today's episode. And we have gone forward a few days off the back of that 3-0 win at home against Ajax, and right off the back of that game, as you can see, Lille grabbed a very, very late goal at home to defeat Inter Milan, and they go up to 3 points alongside Ajax. So at the moment, Inter Milan are the team who look like they are underperforming the most in this group, but we are in quite a good position, already 3 points clear on top of the group, but we are going to be taking on a Lille side who might just have a bit of a confidence boost off the back of that late winner there against Inter Milan in tomorrow's episode, and also probably the episode after that. Our next two games are against Lille, first off at home and then away from home. We should still get through the group stages during this week, even though we aren't quite doing things the exact same way, but we can split it up over 5 episodes still and then get into the finals come next week. So we should still get through the group stages by the end of this week. Just thought we'd do one less game today, so hopefully we can just get my voice a little bit better sounding come the end of this week, and hopefully get rid of this sort of lingering bug that I've had over the past few weeks since moving in, and we can get stuck back into things for the last few weeks of the save. But we are in a good position now. It's time for us to check in on the other Icelandic teams down in the Europa and the Conference Leagues. And we start off with HK in Group A of the Europa League. Thankfully, they have bounced back from their loss away in Germany yesterday against RB Leipzig. They pick up a narrow 1-0 win there at home against Malmo, so we're now joint on points with Granada in third spot in that group. Hopefully, they can start to pick up some points over the next couple of episodes. So a good win there for HK over Malmo. But unfortunately, down in Group H, things are looking pretty dire for Keflavik. I think they need to pick up points in this one against Panathinaikos, considering they also have Liverpool from England and Sudtulol from Italy in their group. Unfortunately, though, they suffer a 2-0 defeat away from home and already look like a very, very long shot to even finish third in that group. So it might be a struggle for Keflavik this European season in the Europa League. And to round things off, we have Phil here down in Group F of the Conference League. They picked up a point away in Greece in yesterday's episode. Unfortunately, couldn't quite back that up at home against Bayer Leverkusen, who without doubt are the best team in this group. They conceded an 82nd minute goal, and that is the reason that they do suffer a 1-0 defeat. So they are currently in third in their group, albeit have a couple of games coming up against an Aska team who did beat Atromitos out of Greece. Those couple of games could be important in seeing who will probably finish second in behind Bayer Leverkusen in that group. But Phil here certainly still in with a shout despite that 1-0 loss there at home against Bayer Leverkusen. But I think that will do it for today's episode. As I said, a bit of a shorter one for obvious reasons, so we can try and get this voice better for the rest of this save. But we do pick up another win in our Champions League group, and that does mean that tomorrow we are going to be taking on Lille at home, and hopefully with another home game we can make it 9 points from 9 to start off the group stage. And if we can do that, we might put ourselves in a good position if Inter Milan can get the job done at home against Ajax as well. We might grab an early 6-point gap at the top of the group. And if you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow for that home game against Lille, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.